Hello everyone, GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video for Fire Emblem Heroes, and Halloween is afoot. Yes, we are going to be getting the next set of seasonal unit reveals tonight in a brand new Fire Emblem Heroes special hero trailer. Now, they did reveal the silhouettes. I do have them up here on the left-hand side, and they actually accidentally leaked who the characters are. So I actually know who the characters are. I'm not going to say it, and I obviously haven't seen the art, so we're still going to be surprised and be able to react to the art that comes up and be excited for that. But the actual names of the characters I know at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and hit play. We're going to watch this together for the first time, and I'll ultimately give my impressions of the art, the characters, the skills, and the banner as a whole to see if this is something that I think is worth summoning for. I will just mention that if you do enjoy the content that we put out, including Fire Emblem Heroes videos, please consider subscribing to the channel, leaving a like down below, and leaving a comment to let us know the types of content that you'd like to see from us going forward. It really does help us out, and we really do appreciate it. With that, let's get into the trailer. Alright, let's get the show on the road. Halloween's always a fun time, always good to look forward to. Costumed and ready for treats. Special heroes to battle. And there he is, Fall Reincarnation. Going to be Furry Robin. Oh, he's an armored unit, okay. And an armored, colorless dragon, Grima, Moonstrike Breath. AR near save 3, okay, slick fighter, sturdy stance. I like the little pumpkin decal on Grima, or pumpkin ornament.
Surprise, your dinner.
It's really ornate art, I have to say. Very nice looking. Okay. Oh, there we go. Witch of Creation. Rhea looks fantastic.
Would you like me to cast a spell on you?
Awesome. Well, she's infantry green dragon. Love the wispiness of her hair in that sprite. Witch breath, dragon wall. I love the witch hat on her.
Be afraid.
That's awesome. Yeah, she looks pretty great. Autumn Goldoan. And this is, of course, going to be Kurthnaga. Okay, Infantry Red Dragon. Lantern Breath Plus. Even Pulse Tie 3. So this is going to be the 4-star special hero. 4-star focus unit of the banner, I'm sure. Pretty cool dragon sprite. I like the ghost animation too. Very nice. And the Bound Spirit duo. So this is going to be Sothis and Byleth. Yeah, okay. Flying Blue Dragon. Eerie Scripture. Got Sirius going. Dragon's Wrath. Attack Speed Rain 3. Okay. And then Sothis, once again, not actually transforming despite transforming. And okay. So we're getting some male Byleth representation on the duo front. And their duo skill. Grants null follow-up. I already see that. Okay.
Let's enjoy the festivities.
You can see their sprite animation.
Let's not be rash.
I like Sothis pointing, and Byleth looking a little cross in the back.
Let us celebrate.
Yes, let's.
I wonder when they're gonna give Sothis a transformation at some point in the future. Okay, so Paralog Story Shared Bounty. Let's see what the free hero is going to be this go around, if there is going to be one revealed here. That's a Flying Blue Tome user, although I don't know exactly who that could be. It could be a bunch of different characters, so I'm not entirely sure. It is, of course, in the in-game notifications as of right now, but I'm not going to look at it because I'm looking at the trailer for the first time. So yeah, Kurthnaga is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner. Banner is going to be lasting for essentially an entire month, starting on the 7th of October. And it is going to be even color distribution across, with the duo heroes being blue this go around, Rhea being green. We're getting male Grima, male Halloween Grima, as a counterpart to female Halloween Grima from last year as the colorless unit, and of course the 4-star focus unit of Kurthnaga as the red. So art looks pretty great, I have to say, very festive and appropriate. I think a lot of people are going to be a little disappointed at the fact that this continues to be a lot of Three Houses representation. We have been kind of inundated with representation from the title, which I'll be honest, I don't have a huge problem with, but at the same time, I absolutely understand the frustration with having too much representation from a particular title. So, but let's go ahead and rewind, take a closer look at the skills, closer look at the art, and see if I think this is ultimately a banner worth looking for. Character selection itself, really, I'm mostly just interested in Rhea. I think nothing else really sticks out to me too much. But again, let's take a closer look. So once again, we've got male Halloween Grima as a colorless dragon armored unit. I have to say his art looks really fantastic, like a phenomenal amount of detail here. He's got the furry ears and the big claws and the feet. He's got a tail wisping behind him. I really do love the magenta flame effect coming off of him. It's just really colorful and vibrant. Really like his expression, how he's kind of reaching out to us with his claws, like the bauble that's kind of floating next to him, as well, or the dragon stone that's floating next to him. I don't know. I think the art just really comes together very, very well. And again, it's busy enough. It feels appropriately festive for Halloween. And you even have some candy elements. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. So that's showing the save skill, of course. So Moonstrike Breath, it's 16 might, got a killer slaying effect up front. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack +6 to unit and inflicts attack -6 on foe during combat. And also if unit deals damage to foe using a special, restores 30% of unit's maximum HP. Triggers even if 0 damage is dealt, and if foe's range is 2, has adaptive damage. So yeah, very, very solid. Killer Slaying effect is always good. Within 2 spaces of an ally, that's a very easy condition. That's of course going to synergize with the save skill as well. Grants attack +6 to him, inflicts attack -6 on the foe, so that's going to let him tank more damage and deal more damage. Once again, that works very, very well with the save skill. And then if he does attack in any capacity, even at 0 damage, he's going to restore, with a special, he's going to restore 30% of his maximum HP, which is great. That is a huge, huge boost to sustain, which means he doesn't really need to use a healing special, although he is in this instance. He's equipped with one. Noontime restores HP equal to 30% of damage dealt. So that is just going to pile on the healings and the sustain for him. Sturdy Stance 3 for the A slot if foe initiates combat. Grants attack defense +6 during combat and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack. Not too shabby. Increases sustain, increase the amount of damage that he's going to do on enemy phase. Slick Fighter 3 for the B slot if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25% and foe initiates combat, neutralizes penalties on unit during combat, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. So obviously with the sustain of his weapon as well as his special, that's going to keep him nice and healthy, and that's really all he needs for Slick Fighter to come into effect. He's going to be enemy phasing all the time, and then having that neutralization of penalties on him, that's very, very powerful. That's very potent. And then a guaranteed follow-up attack, can't ask for much more than that. It's very, very, very strong. So attack, res, near, save 3 for the C slot. If foe uses a melee weapon and initiates combat against an ally within 2 spaces of the unit, triggers Savior, which of course means that he swaps with the unit that's being targeted, and grants attack res +4 during combat. So yeah, obviously he is going to be in an omni-tankish sort of role here. Being colorless, he is not going to have any color disadvantage. He is, of course, going to have a weakness against armor-effective weapons as well as dragon-effective weapons, but that's honestly, he's still going to be very, very potent as a save user. He just wants to enemy phase. All of his skills are catered towards enemy phasing, and that's going to make him very, very healthy, keep him very, very healthy with all of the healing that he's getting, and he's going to get bonuses associated with having that health topped off. So a potent enemy phasing kit, and I'm sure his stats are going to be relatively ridiculous too. And here he is enemy phasing, of course, and
Surprise.
yeah,
Dinner.
very, very busy art, huge amount of healing. Really, really love the effect. And Witch of Creation is going to be next. I do like how elaborate and intricate the gold lining is on the outfit. It does give this regal sense to her, even though it is a very traditional sort of witch outfit that she has going on here. The wide-brimmed hat, the long open sleeves, the slim-fit dress that just kind of hugs her curves going down, and then you have the huge tresses down below. And her weapon is very interesting too. It kind of reminds me of a pastry at the top, which is I think what they're going for with kind of the sweets motif. You do have some cookies and other danishes in the back there, so I think that is obviously it's a dragonstone there, but it does really resemble a danish of some kind. And in contrast to Grima from before, a lot more soft lighting, soft shading, a lot more subtlety going on. The art looks really great for Rhea. Alright, so we're going to see what her skills are. She's going to come with Witch Breath, 16 Might, grants attack +3. At start of combat, if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, grants attack +6 to unit during combat, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, inflicts attack -6 on foe during combat, and foe cannot make a follow-up attack. And then adaptive damage for the last part of that. That's interesting. Attack +3, that's alright. The more interesting component to this is really the health thresholds. And it's at the start of combat, doesn't matter what phase it is, either phase, but the unique component to this is that it relies on the foe's HP. So if the foe's HP is above a certain threshold, she does more damage, which makes sense. If they have higher health, you want to be able to do more damage, so it kind of comes into play naturally. You'll do more damage when they have more health, so that's a great thing. And then unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, you want to do even more damage. So again, the condition is they have a certain amount of HP. That means you're going to do the most damage in that initiation. Whether it's enemy phase or player phase, you're going to get attack +6, and you're going to guaranteed follow-up attack. If Rhea's health is above or equal to 50% HP, inflicts attack -6 on the foe, which means she takes less damage. So again, that's going to improve her survivability while she has higher health. And foe can't make a follow-up attack, so that's going to prevent her from being doubled. So it's interesting. If the foe has more HP, you do more damage. If you have more HP, you take less damage, and it just kind of keeps that going. Iceberg for the special, boost damage by 50% of unit's res, attack res unity for the A slot if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack res +5, and bonus to attack and res during combat equal to the current penalty on each of those stats ×2. Attack res unity is an excellent A slot skill, very, very strong. That base +5 to attack and res, as long as she's within 2 spaces of an ally, is going to be very, very strong. And then essentially what is the nullification and then reverse amplification of penalties is very, very good. Dragon Wall 3 for the B slot. If unit's res is greater than foe's res, reduces damage from attacks during combat and from area of effect specials, excluding Rocker, by percentage equal to the difference between stats ×4, maximum 40%. So she is going to blanketly enjoy a damage reduction based upon her res. If it's higher than her opponent, then she is going to get damage reduction ×4. Up to a maximum of 10. So as long as she has 10 res above her opponent, she's going to enjoy the maximum value of 40% damage reduction. We've seen Dragon Wall. We know it's a powerful effect, especially tied with the other skills that will increase the unit's res. And so that does seem to be the route that they're taking here. She has Iceberg for her special, which does seem to indicate that she's going to have pretty high native res to begin with. So overall, I think her kit is solid. I wouldn't call it exceptional or mind-blowing, but I think it is potent. It's a potent combination of skills, all kind of relying on her having a lot of res, essentially, to take advantage of the Dragon Wall. And then the weapon is really unique just because it relies on both HP thresholds, and depending on whose HP threshold you're evaluating, it sort of reinforces what you're trying to do. If your HP is above 50%, the skills in Witch Breath make sure to keep you above 50%. On the flip side, if the enemy's health is above 50%, Witch Breath essentially gets boost to make sure you do as much damage as you possibly can. Yeah, it's certainly not bad. The only thing that would worry me a little bit is just making sure that she has some sustain skills to make sure that her health is above the threshold necessary, but that's relatively easy to work around, I would say. Alright. So Autumn, Goldoan, and Kurthnaga is again going to be the 4-star special hero, Infantry Red Dragon. Let's take a look here. Lantern Breath Plus, it is an inheritable breath. 14 might, if foe initiates combat or if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% at start of combat, grants attack +5 to unit, inflicts attack -5 on foe, and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack during combat with adaptive damage. That's actually really not bad for an inheritable breath. I mean, it's obviously really intended to be enemy phase based. As long as you're enemy phasing with it, you get all of the bonuses. And then furthermore, there's that foe HP equal to or greater than 75% too. So that's also a way to get around it. And that's probably when you're going to want the most bonuses anyway, when they have higher health thresholds. Generally speaking, I'm not the biggest fan of enemy health threshold skills in general, but I do understand the reasoning and the rationale behind them. Inflicting special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack during combat, in addition to the stat differential that it inflicts, it's actually really not bad for an inheritable breath, I have to say. Growing Light for the special is an AoE. Foes in a wide area around target take damage equal to unit's attack. For the B slot, Even Pulse Tie 3 at start of even number turns. If any foe's HP +1 is less than or equal to unit's HP, and that foe's special is ready, inflicts special cooldown count +2 on foe with the lowest HP among those foes. Yeah, the pulse tie skills have their uses. They're just exceedingly situational and hard to set up. But yeah, they do have their uses. Dragon EXP 3 for the C slot. While unit lives, all Dragonstone allies on team get 2 times EXP. Yeah, it's a new skill. It's been years and years and years, and we have this is our first time seeing Dragon EXP 3. I'm pretty sure they just slapped it on him in order to just get the skill out there, because it's just been overdue for forever. Wouldn't say it's terribly relevant considering all of the changes in the game since we've gotten EXP skills, but all the same, I guess it's finally joining the family of EXP3 skills. So in my mind, the greatest thing out of this kit is the weapon, hands down. I think Lantern Breath Plus as an inheritable breath does a lot of great stuff built into it. And so I think you could definitely see some uses where this could be inherited onto another dragon, or this unit could certainly utilize it as well. Everything else feels a little bit more situational, including the AoE. Like every single thing is is situational. So good weapon though. I do like the weapon. All right, so that's going to show, of course, the even tie pulse effect, which again, it can really turn the tides if you manage to get it to work in your favor, for sure. And that is the Ghost Sprite effect. Love it, love it, love it. And then finally, we do have the Bound Hero Duo, Sothis. They are going to be a flying blue dragon. I mean, Sothis looks cute in the witch outfit, I have to say. Traditional orange and black for Halloween. You can't really go wrong with that. With the stripes and then the hat itself. Got the I like the purple lining under the hat and the dress. And I do like the poofy dress part too. I think that's really cute. And then you've got Byleth back there. It's kind of a demon butler look. I don't know. Those are the vibes that I'm getting from him. All the dark, the formal wear, the horns, the wing, the tail, and that makes sense that he would be serving Sothis in this instance. So it's all right, art. It's cute. All right, Eerie Scripture. That's a unique weapon to them. 16 might, killer slaying effect. That's very strong. Neutralizes effective against dragon bonuses. Okay. Unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. Distant counter built in. And then if foe initiates combat, or if foe's HP is greater than or equal to 75% at start of combat, grants +5 to all stats during combat. Well then, and then if foe's range is equal to 2, adaptive damage. I gotta say, that's a set of really strong things. Killer slaying effect, neutralizing dragon effectiveness, distant counter built into that. I mean, that alone is strong. And then if they're enemy phasing, or if the foe has more than 75% of their HP, gets +5 to all stats during combat. And then adaptive damage. Not a lot of trappings here, and I would say that the weapon kind of is fragmented in that it goes in a lot of different directions, but each of the different directions it goes is pretty unique. And so, like, again, the neutralizing effective against dragon bonuses is really good, and then the built-in distant counter, and then everything else is just kind of ends up being gravy. Sirius is the special, unique to them, 2 cooldown, boosts damage by 30% of unit speed, restores HP by 30% of damage dealt. So I'm anticipating that they are going to be a pretty speedy unit, and that of course also is corroborated by the fact that they have attack speed solo 4 for the A slot, as long as they are not adjacent to an ally, plus 7 to attack and speed during combat. They also have attack speed Reign 3 for the C slot, inflicts attack speed minus 4 on foes within 2 spaces during combat. Once again, capitalizing on getting that excess speed over their opponent to naturally double. And then Dragon's Wrath 3 for the B slot. If foe initiates combat, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 20% during combat. And also, if unit's attack is greater than foe's res, unit's first attack deals damage equal to 20% of unit's attack minus foe's res during combat. So this is obviously built around enemy phasing. The foe has to initiate combat for any of these effects to come into play. And what it'll do is it'll reduce damage from foe's first attack by 20% during combat. Just straight up damage reduction on enemy phasing of the first attack. So that in and of itself, baseline 20% damage reduction up front, that's pretty good. And also, if unit's attack is greater than foe's res, meaning that essentially they would be doing damage against their res stat. They have higher attack than the opponent has res. Unit's first attack deals damage equal to 20% of unit's attack minus foe's res during combat. Okay, so that means 20% of the damage that you would be doing against an opponent's res, you'll get as true damage boosted onto your first attack, basically. This is quite a powerful skill, as long as you're enemy phasing, and they do appear to be an enemy phasing, high speed, high attack unit, but they're going to enjoy damage reduction, and they're also going to enjoy additional damage in the form of true damage based upon their attack stat. So because of that, it's kind of an all-in-one sort of skill to both increase survivability and also increase the damage dealt. Kind of reminds me of Rhea's weapon, to be honest with you, because again, it has that dual effect of both increasing your tankiness and also increasing the amount of damage that you do. So not too shabby, not too shabby at all. Let's take a look at their duo skill, because I think that is going to, of course, be a big component in how powerful the unit is on the battlefield overall. So, alright, so here's their duo skill. Grants null follow-up to unit and allies within 2 spaces. If unit or any ally within 2 spaces has their special cooldown count at its max value, grants them special cooldown count -1. Once used, duo skill cannot be activated again right away. At start of odd number turns, if duo skill has already been used, unit can use duo skill again. So wow, this is a multi-activation duo skill, and for what it does, that's really strong. So null follow-up, the effect is if unit speed is greater than foe speed during combat, mind you, neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-up attacks and effects that prevent units follow-up attacks for 1 turn. So we already mentioned that duo Halloween Sothis is going to be naturally speedy. So she's going to naturally double a lot of enemies out there. Null follow-up is just going to ensure that she is not prevented from doubling where it is her right to double. And it's going to increase her tankiness because she's going to prevent guaranteed follow-up attacks from the enemies as well. And then furthermore, it's going to grant -1 special cooldown count to all allies within 2 spaces as well as themselves, as long as their cooldown count is at its max value. So in the case of Sothis, that synergizes obviously with Sirius. It has a 2-turn cooldown. The weapon that they have has a killer slaying effect, so really their special has effectively a 1-turn cooldown. And when their special is at 1 turn, they're going to activate their duo skill, get an extra cooldown count -1, and they're essentially going to have their Sirius ready to proc on their first attack. So this is a really, really powerful duo skill, especially the fact that it can be used multiple times on a map. A lot of potential allies, can take huge advantage off of this. The special cooldown count is really helpful, but having a null follow-up boost or buff on your allies is huge. That gives you so much potential and frees up the ability to utilize certain units and free up their B slot to not have to pin them down and having to use null follow-up. There are certain movement types that don't innately have access to null follow-up, and so this is going to give them the freedom to actually use this. So I think that this is actually a pretty great skill to work a strategy around and build a team around. I think there's a lot of potential there. So once again, shared bounties starting on the 7th of October and again extending for essentially an entire month. I think in terms of ranking the colors and the characters, the duo unit is absolutely the prize of the banner, at least from a skill and power perspective. They just do a lot of things, and I think their skill and their kit work very, very well. The duo skill does a lot of unique things, that's just exceptionally potent. And then after the duo unit, I would probably put male Grima. He's just very, very good, solid all around. Not earth-shattering, but still very strong in his own right. I would put Rhea beneath Grima, and then beneath Rhea, I would put Kurthnaga. But of course, Kurthnaga is the 4-star focus hero, so easier to get, a potential merge project. And his weapon is not only inheritable, but I think it's very, very strong in general. So whether you're going to keep that on him or use him for skill fodder, weapon fodder, what have you, I think that he has some value there. From an art perspective, I think that Rhea and Grima kind of run away with this. I think that they have the most interesting, the most cohesive, the most sort of just visually appealing and attractive outfits, and that are sort of thematically appropriate as well. From my perspective, I don't think I'm really going to be summoning on this banner. I'll do some poverty pulls. I'll pull for green and blue in the first circle, and then that's it, and then move on with my day. But let me know in the comments below if you're excited for this banner, if you're excited for these characters, and if you are, which character you are going to be targeting. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to leave us a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching and for taking time out of your day to spend with us. We really do appreciate it. Certainly hoping you're all staying safe, healthy, secure, and united out there, and wishing the very, very best for you, your family, and your friends. And until next time, let's protect those skies.